How do you actually sell art online this year? I want to give you a complete guide about the whole process. Whether you want to sell, let's say, en masse, you want to sell a wholesale, or you want to go retail. Okay. So here are the generalities I want you to think about when it comes to selling art online. It's about actually knowing your niche. It's about really knowing your target audience. Okay. If you are trying to make money selling your paintings or even prints online, you gotta have a strategy. Now, making a living as a career artist or let's say doing this on the side, it's actually a beautiful process if you know how to get things done real fast. Okay, and so you can actually get a lot of things in terms of doing things independently, or like having a Shopify store portal right now, or just going through a marketplace such as Etsy to sell your art, to set your to actually sell your paintings. Okay, so that really is kind of cool because it gives you a lot of possibilities, but also gives you competition because you are able to compete. If you have good products, good paintings, you are able to compete head to head with let's say gallerists and curators who actually are helping you. So you can go again, as I said a little earlier, you can actually sell paintings yourself, or you can go through a curator to sell your paintings. Okay. So whether you are a creator or a curator looking to make money online by selling arts, basically in today's conversation, I'll explain to you step by step all the things you need to do to really sell your art online. And so one thing I want to say also is that remember that you have to really everything starts when it comes to selling art online. The market is so dynamic that you have to really know your target audience real fast so that you can identify real fast also let's say behavior shift. Okay, if the market is communicating to you to say, listen, we don't want this kind of art anymore, then you have the possibility to actually catch the info, the intel, if you will, the market intel real fast and adjust your painting. So that will give you more flexibility in the long run. So that's kind of cool. So when it comes to selling art online, let me give you the approach you need to really follow this year if you're trying to really make cash real fast. First of all, you want to really understand that you need to choose your business model. As I said a little earlier, do you want to sell your own art, or do you want to sell works by other artists? In other words, do you want to be you want to have flexibility? So there are two ways to sell art online. Okay, you can create or you can curate. So when you curate, it means that you are selling other artists' work. So this is important, and so basically you are able to choose. Now, creating and selling your own art is kind of cool. So as an artist, you are the creator, producing original art, reproductions of originals, or digital artwork, and selling directly to your customers or indirectly through a gallery, retail partner, or agent. So this is kind of cool. It's never been easier, by the way, for artists to sell directly with emerging creator tools popping up seemingly every single day. So if you are learning how to sell paintings online, galleries, and that's a good thing, galleries can expose your work to new audiences. They may also have access to resources and professionals to help promote, exhibit, handle, and ship artwork. So this is kind of important to think about. But you can also curate the work of other artists. So if you're not personally an artist, but you have a great eye and a love for arts in general, you can still get into the game of selling art as a curator. So some artists may not be into marketing or figuring out how to sell art online, and instead they rely on gallerists, curators, and retail partners to handle this aspect of the business. So as a partner to artists, you make a percentage of the selling price in exchange for your business knowledge and service. So this is really good. So the first thing is you want to choose your business model, okay? Creating or curating. Number two, you want to decide what to sell. So do you want to sell original arts versus reproductions? So the best way to sell your art online will actually depend on the nature of your art and your chosen medium. You may choose to sell your art, sell reproductions of that work, or both. So you have a flexibility there, okay? And so now consider the following formats when it comes to deciding what to sell: original arts, limited or open edition prints, digital arts or digital downloads, custom arts, merchandise, repeat prints, licensing, and collaborations. So that's really good because it gives you a lot of possibilities for revenue generation, especially in the long run. So if you want to sell paintings online, you can sell prints online. You can also sell other types of art reproductions. Okay, so this is kind of cool, especially when it comes to diversifying your revenue base. You can also have reproductions of art prints, open edition versus limited edition. So this is kind of cool, especially when it comes to diversifying your market, your audience in the long run. Next thing, if you want to really sell arts online this year, you want to photograph and scan your work. Okay, so you have to digitize your work and bring it to market. So when it comes to photographing and representing your products clearly and accurately, those two processes are critical. They are quintessential for any online small business. So the thing is that without the ability to fill a product, potential customers need to get the best sense of what they are buying through clear and detailed images. So selling art online is no exception. Okay, if you have a bad image of your work or the image doesn't represent the work accurately, you are going to have a harder time selling it. Okay, so when it comes to photographing art to sell, remember that product photography is it's a little trickier, especially when it comes to the art realm. And a basic light setup may actually still cause glare or color irregularities. So consider hiring a professional to shoot larger works or art with any three dimensional or glossy elements. Okay, so you have more possibilities, and so you can also scan art to sell. That's totally a possibility. Also, if you want to go that route, and if your target audience doesn't really care that much. Next thing you want to do here is you want to find a printer to print your arts. Okay, so understanding how to sell your prints, especially of your artwork, comes down to getting very friendly with a printer, whether that's your at-home inkjet or a company. Like if you are outsourcing everything to a third party. So basically, as a new artist, this method, in terms of DIY printing, for instance, can keep costs low, but may be unsustainable as you scale over time because if you have to do it yourself, can you imagine actually printing like over and over and over? That's really unsustainable. You can use a printing company, but you also have a third option, and that's actually print-on-demand services. So this is actually, those services are great and versatile because you are able to sell art online real fast, and you can scale real fast too. So that's really good. Next, I want you to really build your brand as an artist. So if you want to sell art online, you have to think about branding. You got to think about marketing. You have to think about the commercial aspect of things. Okay. So because art is a personal and sometimes emotional purchase, your brand story as an artist could actually factor into someone's decision to buy. And other business assets like packaging and site design should actually mirror or complement the visual aesthetic of the work itself. So there has to be a continuum when it comes to your brand assets. So your branding exercise should really answer the following: do you create or sell art under your own name, a pseudonym, or a brand name? How will you approach brand storytelling? How much of your personal story will you tell? What kind of privacy you want to unveil here? Okay. And also, do you have a mission, values, or a cause that you want to communicate through your brand? Because you might actually appeal to a certain audience. Also, outside of the art itself, what is the visual direction of your brand identity? And what's the tone of your communication? So be very thorough there, though. And what branding assets do you need? So that way you have a clear idea of who you can actually sell to. Okay. So even without the design skills or the budget to hire a graphic designer, you can actually generate a logo with a logo maker and execute branding design with free and simple tools. So don't try to really increase your budget for nothing. Okay, go the easier way in a lot of methods. So the next thing you want to do is to set retail prices for your products. So basically, you have to understand you can actually price original arts based on what the market is offering, right? It's all about making sure that you are competitive. You can also think about pricing art prints to sell. So you want to really factor into when it comes to pricing art prints to sell. Think about the cost of printing and your cost to sell and market the print, plus other expenses, as well as your markup profit. That's going to give you the retail price. So your markup may be on a scale depending on whether you sell open or limited edition prints. Other expenses may include office supplies, software or app fees, professional services, studio rent, and more. So you have to account for all kinds of possibilities. Okay. Now, when it comes to pricing original arts, I just want to insist on the fact that you can work with gallerists who are experts at valuing and pricing art, and so you can work with them to set a price that makes sense for you, the gallery, and the market, right? So you want to make sure that you are competitive. It's all about benchmarking. Now, note that the gallery will take a cut of the retail price when selling paintings online and also in retail. So be careful about that. But when you think about it, it's actually better because the gallery has an established market, which you may not have access to if you were to go DIY. Okay. Next, you want to think about building an e-commerce store to sell your art online. So when you are thinking about actually selling art online, think about building an e-commerce store this year real fast. So there are actually critical pages when you think about having an online art store. So every e-commerce store should have a few key pages that customers expect to see when browsing. So this include a home page, contact page, about page, collection pages, and product pages. And some lesser known but important pages to consider are terms and conditions, FAQ, right? You have privacy policy and shipping policy pages. So for artists, a gallery or a portfolio page may also be useful if you, let's say if you plan to license your work, right? You want to sell through galleries, you want to offer a custom art, or you want to attract brand partnerships, because this is actually another avenue for revenue, really, especially in the long run. So from a scalability point of view, this is kind of cool. And what about store design and themes? Well, when it's setting up your online art store, choose a theme that actually lets your art breathe. Large images and lots of white negative space. Okay, themes are like templates that you actually build upon, layering in your own images and copy and tweaking colors and layout to suit your business. So that's kind of cool. So you have a lot of possibility there, and so you also have apps for art stores. So you have print-on-demand apps, you have gallery apps, you have a social marketing apps, you have also a product page app. So you have a lot of efficiency introduced by those apps there. And you also have next you want to do is to discover more online channels for selling arts. So basically, if you are thinking about selling arts online, first of all, you have a lot of possibilities in terms of the conduits, the channels. So a standalone e-commerce site allows you to sell online using an e-commerce platform like BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Shopify, Big Cartel, Magento, now called Adobe Commerce. You have online marketplaces like Etsy, Amazon, or eBay. Those can actually plug directly into your online store, so that's really good also. You also have other art-specific marketplaces that really help you find art lovers. So you have Society6, Art Finder, Saatchi Art, Find Art America. You have social selling channels like Facebook and Instagram that integrate with your Shopify store or your BigCommerce store or your WooCommerce store. So that's really good. You also have wholesale or consigned to other online boutiques and galleries. And we also have collaborations. So collaborations are kind of cool also in terms of expanding your possibilities here. Next, you want to sell your art offline. So here I'm speaking about gallery exhibitions, pop-ups, and events. Okay, if you are trying to sell your art, you want to expand your avenues for revenue. Let me explain what I mean by that. So because basically you want to really touch a lot of folks as much as possible, right? So, for instance, if you actually work frequently in traditional mediums, much of the impact of your work can be seen not only in retail but also digitally. Okay, so you can actually partner with a gallery to exhibit work and generate buzz. You can look into local art markets, art fairs, and events, and set up a one-time or a semi-permanent kind of booth. So that kind of gives you flexibility. You can consign or wholesale with art, gift, or lifestyle retail stores, or set up a small pop-up within an existing store. You can open your studio to the public when you let's say when you launch your website, or you can keep consistent weekly open studio hours to invite fans into your process because you want to really unveil a little bit like behind closed doors, right? Okay. You can also lend or consign work for decor to emergent retail businesses like cafes in exchange for the exposure. And you can also so you can also work with galleries to sell your arts. Okay, so you can actually do this in a very streamlined manner. So basically, the galleries must actually be in sync with the kind of audience you want to really reach out to. Now, this partnership can give you access to new audiences, including serious art buyers and art collectors. Okay, now here are a few do's and don'ts when working with galleries. Do check out the gallery's social media account, very important. And you also want to do your research and contact only those galleries who represent like work in line with your own style. That's what I said a little earlier. There has to be a sync with between your art and their target audience. Okay. Now here are a few here are two things I don't want you to do. Do not approach a gallery via social media unless they specifically ask for it, and also do not sacrifice quality for quantity. Okay, so select the top few galleries that you want to work with most and send individual outreach to each. And one last thing that I want to say here is that I want you to really focus on doing your homework. Okay, so being able to personalize an email, for instance, is a great first step in the process of making sure you are reaching out to the right galleries. If you are trying to sell art online, you can think about licensing your art. Okay, so aside from selling physical art, both original and reproductions, there's another way to make money as an artist: licensing. So licensing your art involves actually selling permission for a brand, a business, institution, agency, stock photography site, or a person to use a digital version of your image for a specific use case and time frame. So there has to be a like a start date and also an expiration date. So licensing contracts vary and may include unlimited use rights or the right to use a digital art image indefinitely, though usually there are limitations in place to protect the artist. So understand really what you're signing before entering into any legal agreement, and be sure you still retain ownership over your image. Okay, it's always great to consult a contract lawyer for help in negotiating the terms of your licensing agreements. And this is especially important as you gain more cachet or the value of your arts increases. Okay, so think about your possibilities here. The next thing you want to do is you want to really also market your art brand. So you want to, for instance, you can think about paid ads. You can think about investing in organic social content by actually posting consistently and engaging with fans and art communities frequently. It's all about having this sort of rapport, right? Building that rapport. Also, you want to run contests or offer exclusive discounts. You can also use influencer marketing. So reach out to creators and press when you launch your site or a new collection. And also, you want to really think about applying SEO to your work. So learn about e-commerce SEO to help improve your store's discoverability. And on search engines, you want to try offline marketing. That's another great way to actually expand your reach. And use content marketing also. So leverage your expertise to create content around arts, tutorials, behind the scenes, sneak peeks, etc. Either through a blog, TikTok account, YouTube channel, or podcast. So that's really important from a long-term perspective. So if you want to sell arts online this year, you want to think about packaging and shipping your arts, okay? So as art is really a visual, you should really pay attention to the smallest details down to how your art is packaged and shipped, especially when you have a target audience that's really picky, that's really thorough, that really cares about those details. So art that arrives undamaged is the bare minimum. Give your customers an experience that matches the quality and care you put into your work. So, as art can be fragile, follow these guidelines for ensuring that your work arrives safe and sound. First of all, DIY shipping for arts. Basically, you want to really make sure that you reach out to let's say a company, a specialized company, like it can be a DHL, a USPS, UPS, or FedEx, or even another carrier. Okay, but what you want to do is that if you are shipping original art or elect to ship prints and canvases yourself instead of through a print and fulfillment company, take extra precaution with your packaging. Larger prints and posters are best shipped in cardboard mailing tubes, and smaller prints in rigid cardboard mailing envelopes. And use glass-lined, water and grease-resistant paper or clear cellophane sleeves to protect prints within the packaging. And custom branded packaging like tissue paper or poly envelopes that feature your branding or art can spark delight with customers and improve their experience with your brand. That's what you want, right? You want them to remember your brand in a positive manner. And also, when you ship expensive and oversized original artwork, then you want to really reach out to a third party. You can also ship art direct with print on demand. So the easiest way to sell artwork online is to actually outsource all of the printing, fulfillment, and shipping to a print on demand partner. And a POD partner actually can access great shipping rates due to volume and partnerships with carriers. One thing for sure, don't forget shipping insurance. So if you have fine arts, for instance, you want to really insure your shipments. And also understand plagiarism and copyrights for artists. Okay, this is another important element that you need to care about. So if you want to learn how to sell your art online, just get started with what you have at your disposal. So, but you have to think about the possibility of having your art being plagiarized there in the market. So here's a quote. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about how to sell art online. I give you the generalities, and then I explain to you the approach. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.